Hello all, welcome back to TV and Me and my reaction review to Season 1 Episode 4 of Westworld. First thing you may notice, a slight change to the scenery. I just moved stuff about to make it easier for me to record, so there's that. With that out of the way, let's get straight into last week's review. What did we see? Well, I think last week's episode was all about Bernard. We learned a lot more about his character and his state of mind. We learned that he had a son, which we believe died. He has a wife, even though in the previous episode, I think it was, he was sleeping with the woman he's working with. So unless they must be separated at this point, and that's why he's sleeping with the other woman, as far as I'm aware. Also, we saw Bernard have conversations with Dolores, and in those conversations, I sort of worked out that he's trying to establish whether Dolores has a higher consciousness, or at the very least he's trying to tease it out for her to have these responses which aren't pre-programmed, which he did achieve at one point. And he left Dolores in a state of mind where she had a free will. And because of that, we later saw in that episode that Dolores went completely off her loop. Basically, she got into a situation where the guy that always robs her house and kills her father, she was locked into the barn with him, and she managed to get a gun and shoot him. Now, at this point, I'm pretty sure the gun she had was the one she took off that guy, because when she drew it and pointed it at him, he checked his holster to the right to see his gun had gone. So I believe it's his gun, and it's not the gun that she found the previous episode. So that's my thinking on that. After that, we sort of saw Dolores have a premonition of what was about to happen, as if she's lived that loop before. And in the previous episode reaction, I said that she must have shot the gun before because she's having that same reaction. That thing has happened before. But somebody pointed out to me in the comments section that it could be that maybe one time a visitor rescued her and she escaped, and she got to that point and then the guy shot her. So it's entirely possible that she hadn't fired a gun at that point, and that was the very first time she fired one. So there's that. And finally, we saw Dolores stumble out of her house and go towards, well, she fled out into the countryside, and she stumbled upon those two new guys who have entered Westworld, the guy and his brother-in-law. Still not aware of their names. I'll probably learn them eventually, and I'll pick them up, and then yeah, I'll use them correctly. We also got in that episode a brief look into Ford's former partner, Arnold. Now, all we know about Arnold so far is that he used to work with Ford, and they created this Westworld, and they used to experiment, creating these hosts, and yeah, just create the whole experience which Westworld is today. And apparently he died. Now, at this point, I want to thank everyone for commenting on my videos. I mean, all the people that have subbed this week and commented and just had interactions with me has been fantastic. And some of your theories have literally blown my mind. Like, one was that could the man in black, who we didn't see last week, be Arnold? Because when he was mentioned before by some of the people in the Institute, they said he had free reign and they don't interfere with him. So that's entirely possible. Ford could be lying about Arnold's death, and he could be Arnold. Judging by the way Ford described Arnold, it doesn't seem like the same character, but you never know, he could be lying about that as well. Also, someone pointed out to me, a good friend of mine pointed out, that we don't have any understanding of time in the park. So say we see one scene where Dolores is doing one thing, and then the next scene Dolores is doing the same thing again. We have no recognition of how long has passed. So we could be seeing a scene that was 10 years ago, and then we're seeing the next scene which is like 1 year ago. So some of the scenes in the show could have taken place 10 years ago, and we don't know. We just assume it's in the same timeline because Westworld is on a loop, so it all looks the same. So there could be some interesting plot points that come out of that. As far as everything else that's going on, that's all I can really remember at this point. I'm sure once I'm watching the show I'll remember more, but yeah, let's just get on with it. Let's watch this show, and yeah, this is Season 1, Episode 4.
Dolores.
Yes.
Do you know where you are?
I'm in a dream.
Before this, do you know what happened?
Oh, they caught her then.
My parents. They hurt them.
Limit your emotional affect, please.
Everyone I cared about is gone. And it hurts. So badly.
I can make that feeling go away if you like.
Why would I want that? The pain, their loss. It's all I have left of them.
That's exactly what he
You
said.
think the grief will make you smaller and sad? Like your heart will collapse in on itself, but it doesn't. I feel spaces opening up inside of me. Like a building with rooms I've never explored.
She's showing emotion as well, even though he said not to.
There's something I'd like you to try. It's a game. Secret. It's called The Maze.
What kind of game is it?
It's a very special kind of game, Dolores. The goal is to find the center of it. If you can do that, then maybe you can be free.
Called it.
I think I want to be free.
Called it. Sorry, I'm excited for that. I thought it'd be something metaphorical like that.
Thank you.
So I take it she's been to the lab and now they've placed her back here.
Ever had something on the tip of your tongue, and the harder you try to remember, the more it slips away?
Most things touch the tip of my tongue. I'm happy to forget.
Something in your eyes.
Is she remembering?
What's the holdup? We need that one on the next shuttle topside.
I'm not finished with her yet. Hang on.
I've got another bullet fragment to remove from her abdomen.
QA wants her back on the floor now. Patch her and get her on the guard.
Most things touch the tip of my tongue. I'm happy to forget. I remember.
She's remembering the surgery, isn't she? She's leaving clues for herself, so she does go on another loop. She remembers. Ah, she's drawing those. Imagine if that was happening. You feel like being abducted by aliens or something. She's done it previously.
Well, it didn't hurt us. Its behavior was unconventional.
It smashed its
Oh, my
own
word.
head in with a rock. Do we have any idea what caused it to go off loop?
No, but I am hoping to recover some of its cognition. We managed to stabilize its wetware before there was too much decomposition. See? If you would like us to figure out what went wrong here, we need to be allowed to access it.
No more second chances. QA will handle events like this from now on.
That's not Orion. There are 3 stars in Orion's belt, not 4.
Is he giving her a clue to something?
You might think it's a coincidence that the only thing that you even smiled at back in Sweetwater just happened to drop into your lap. This is why the company needs to bump our stake in this place. They can even give you a sense of purpose. You said the trip was about welcoming me to the family. This is business? With our family, William, everything is business.
We better get a move on, gentlemen.
So they're employees of some sort of corporation linked to Westworld?
Besides,
Uh-oh.
I think we found our snake after all.
Found some more food for the horses.
It's gonna go into Terminator mode again.
We're starting to get ornery.
You look a little short-handed.
We got enough men.
Seems like you got a couple positions open.
I wonder what his plan is. If the maze is just a psychological thing, why does he not know that? Does he think it's something more? Wait, isn't that the same town where the man in black killed that man's wife? The maze.
Ma'am?
My father's dead. I'm not going back.
What's going on here?
Oh, just helping a lost traveler.
Are you all right?
I wonder what's triggering all these memories all of a sudden. Is it the new code for putting?
Excuse me, sir. I didn't want to intrude, but I just had to say that I'm such an admirer of yours. Your foundation literally saved my sister's life.
One more word and I'll cut your throat, understand? This is my fucking vacation.
So is he not Arnold? If you recognised him, that means he's someone else.
Apparently. Yep.
I want the story behind your tattoo.
What's your interest in it?
You ever heard of a man named Arnold? You could say he was the original settler of these parts. He created a world where you could do anything you want, except one thing. You can't die. Which means no matter how real this world seems, it's still just a game. But then Arnold went and broke his own rule. He died right here in the park. Except I believe he had one story left to tell. A story with real stakes, real violence. You could say I'm here to honor his legacy. And I think your tattoo is the next piece of the puzzle. Normally, I'm sure, but this is the finest tobacco a man can enjoy. Hand-rolled on the ample thighs of exotic women. Perhaps you'd like to try one yourself.
Deputy, you have there in your custody the most wanted man in 3 territories. Lawrence, Pedro, Maria Gonzalez.
He tells it he's more partial to a firing squad.
I reckon we'll be happy to oblige.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Maybe someday.
So who is he trying to break out of prison?
Enjoy the cigars. Go fuck yourself.
Ah, that's the guy who robbed the bar and was meant to do the speech before.